What is going on, everybody? This is Big B, Brian Hanley with CC Chris Claybon, and this is Instant Replay. We are back for another edition, and I think pretty much from all the feedback that I got, Chris, I think there is an over-under going on when your Wi-Fi goes out. What is the over-under? I got a lot of 2.5 minutes. That's what I got, 2.5 minutes.
We had some difficulty coming in the pregame, so I'm not doubting it either, you know?
Oh, that's all right. We'll get this thing figured out. I think we got it figured out, man. The people are already giving us the blues, mostly Buddy Claybon giving us the blues. So it is what it is, man. A lot to cover today. We got a lot to cover today. Main thing is everybody remember to like and subscribe. Tell somebody else about the live stream that we are doing in the show. We appreciate everybody's support, man. Thank you guys for showing up to Instant Replay. Let's get this thing going. So first thing off the bat, man, there's been a lot of talk, Chris, a lot of talk, and I think nonsense about the NFL being scripted. That everybody says, oh, it's scripted. Well, it kind of blew everybody's, all that conspiracy theories nonsense when the Chiefs won. Because remember, the script was all about the colors in, the Super Bowl logo. And it was San Francisco and Baltimore colors. Well, the Chiefs ended up winning.
Let me stop you there. That was just one of the scripts, right? One of the scripts. One of the scripts was the colors, the logo, the advertisements announcing the team beforehand. The other script was they wanted Taylor in the Super Bowl. They got Taylor in the Super Bowl.
So then the NFL is scripted.
I'm not saying, like you saw Jackson just said they got caught, had to change the script. Maybe so.
I mean, well, don't wishy-washy about it. Is the NFL scripted or is it not?
Man, I think they got billions of reasons to have an interest in who's there, right?
On the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
So nobody's going to watch the Super Bowl if it's not the script that they want it to be.
If it's post-Hurricane Katrina, you might need the Saints to win it. If there's a city that may be losing interest, you might need to get them in there. I think there's some reasons they're going to have the same viewership, but maybe you need a targeted audience.
I've heard some people talk here recently online about dodging questions and dilly-dallying around and flip-flopping back and forth. I believe my question, and chat, please help me out here. Is the NFL scripted? And I'm going to yell it a little louder because I don't think you heard me. Is the NFL scripted or is it not?
Absolutely. There you go.
Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, so you're a flat earther, NFL scripted. No, we're going all the way that way. All the way with
all the other conspiracies. But, sometimes when you start labeling yourself sports entertainment and there's billions of dollars on the line, I don't believe there's not some people, blowing some wind in the sail to make the boat move, if that makes sense.
Aha. Gotcha. So sometimes it's scripted, sometimes it's not. We want it to possibly be this way. Maybe we don't want to. I don't believe any of that nonsense.
We got people wishing my Wi-Fi would go out just because their team backed into the Super Bowl. And I know, hot take, backing into the Super Bowl. But come on. I don't think Kansas City deserves to be there the way they played 6 weeks before now.
I mean, but a lot changes in 6 weeks. What are you talking about? Backed into the Super Bowl based on something that happened 6 weeks ago? Do you watch football?
I'm not saying 6 weeks ago, but the last 6 weeks. Come on, man. That's the best you've seen them play in 6 weeks. Am I right?
But that's okay, isn't it? I mean, they are allowed to play better, right?
They are, but is that the test sample you'd have? 1 game out of 7?
Oh, sometimes that's all it takes. I mean, if you got into the Super Bowl, you're in the Super Bowl. Not to mention, they didn't just beat some bums. They didn't win some easy games on the road. They went to Buffalo where nobody said they could win, and they won. And then they went to Baltimore, who basically had an unbeatable team, and they beat them too. I wouldn't call that backing into the Super Bowl.
Okay, an unbeatable team that managed to beat themselves very easily, right?
Well, we'll get into that later because I think
Okay,
you got a crazy
okay,
take about that as well, and we'll talk about that in for a second. But I just want to get back to this scripted thing. So guys putting their bodies on the line, you
right.
know. Um, and now, don't get me wrong, Vegas got millions of dollars either way, so they're going to make their money regardless of whatever the turnout happens to be. They're going to make their money. But how many people are involved in this script? How many people know about it?
See, and I think that's the best secret, right? You can't keep a secret between two people. I don't think there is a whole bunch. I don't think that it's ever going to get down into any of the locker rooms or the coaches. I think maybe, a couple of folks and definitely the officiating crew, right? Taunting call here or there, quick judgment on
Well,
did
it
the
was a
ball
taunt.
break
I
the
mean, he did
plane?
taunt the guy. I mean, you can't throw a football at a guy,
Oh, I got you.
spinning on him and push him down and dance in his face. I mean, that's the definition of taunting.
Well, let's get this straight. Pushing him was a result of the guy still had a hold of his legs,
Exactly,
which
which
that was
I
every
agree
bit.
with. You got to push him down.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, spinning the ball. I mean, I get it, but taunting and pass interference could be called every play. I don't think it's pure luck on when it does get called.
So he was involved in the script.
I don't know. Maybe they got a couple cues that they watch out. Maybe they know their grade card. Hey, you know what? We need to see more pass interference. You know,
But they didn't
Snead is
call.
a
They didn't
Snead is a
call any.
lockdown defender. When did that narrative change? Right? When did he become one of the best corners in the league?
I mean, I don't know when he became that, but he was pretty good last year, and then he was good all season long. He didn't give up a touchdown. He gave up one. That was last week to Buffalo. He didn't give up one against Baltimore because karma, which again part of the script, he stripped the guy at the goal line as he's diving into the end zone. Scripted.
No,
That
I don't think these guys get down to the script. I think they let these great athletes play, but I believe there's some higher people that could have vested interest in a call going one way or another, big guy. And the script would be
unbelievable.
more of along the lines of why did Baltimore not run the ball? That's what they do. Why didn't they do more of it? Like I don't think it comes down to everyday plays, but I do think it comes around to the overall narrative. It's a driving rainstorm and they don't run the ball.
Okay. Well, then let's just jump right into the second topic here. Let's just jump right into that since, and again, I agree with you. The game plan was horrendous. Not even a decent game plan. The
No.
game plan was absolutely horrendous. But if we're jumping into the second topic here, let's
Yeah, let's
just
do
jump
it.
into it. Did Lamar Jackson choke? Well, it can't be
Absolutely,
both. It
absolutely
can't
not.
be scripted to be bad, but Lamar Jackson didn't choke because Lamar Jackson 1,000% choked.
I'm sorry. A bad ball is a choke.
20 for 37 is not one bad ball.
20 for 37 is what happens when you're behind. You're going to put the ball up more. They're
Well,
going
hold
to
on.
play the pass.
Wait. They're behind, so they didn't run it. But so you're complaining about them running the football and not doing it, but then they're behind, and now you say they have to do it. I just need some consistency. I need
Okay.
some
Okay.
consistency.
So they did not run the ball when they weren't behind and in control of the game and trying to keep the ball out of Patty Mahomes' hands.
Well, they were behind from the opening kickoff.
I, I get it,
They
but
went
you
down
and
the
I
field and
both
scored, so
know
they were behind the entire football game.
if I'm down 3-0, 7-0 with 45 minutes left, come on, man. That's not what I'm
Okay.
talking about. You know he's putting the ball in the air when he's pressing at the end, but why did they stop running the ball when it was still a very viable option?
I
There's
mean,
that.
I can't go along with the whole scripted thing. It's one or
Okay,
the other. It's either he choked or it's scripted. I'll let you decide which one you want to die on. But Lamar Jackson absolutely choked in the football game. 20 for 37. That's pathetic. And if we're going to beat up on Josh Allen, which you definitely beat up on Josh Allen last
absolutely.
week, didn't make enough plays to win the game. Lamar Jackson didn't even come close to making enough plays to win the game. Didn't even come close.
Man, I don't know. I have a problem with that. So he's extending plays, which you know I hate because they're playing
There
the
you go.
pass. He didn't turn it into hero ball. They really let him down from obviously Zay Flowers, like Buddy's talking about on there, let him down. But I think they let him down from the play calling. And everybody's like, well, he can audible. Well, that's not his forte. He needs to be the best running quarterback, the best dual threat quarterback of all time, and he needs to be Peyton Manning in his later years at being able to being the offensive coordinator. No, Baltimore's OC let them down. And I'm sorry, Odell Beckham is still not a washed up. He's still a viable threat. We didn't take any shots down there with him. We didn't get him involved. We know he's an emotion player. That was
I'm going to say this. If you're relying on throwing Odell Beckham go routes to try to win a football game, that is the definition of desperate. Odell
okay.
Beckham hadn't been open in a year. Okay. He is not he's a number 3 receiver at best right now. Because otherwise they'd have thrown him the football. But they didn't. The guy is number 3 at best. I can't even believe you're saying stuff like this. It's
Okay.
absolutely
Okay.
ridiculous. He is a
He's
bad
got a
receiver.
washed Odell. He's got a washed Odell.
Okay.
Zay Flowers, who's a net case. Um, uh, tight end fresh off a break in his ankle, and he choked. Is the narrative right back to last year? Let's get him some weapons.
I mean, I think he had enough weapons. How about instead of dancing around in the pocket back there and dancing and dancing and dancing, you said he needs to be the best dual threat quarterback ever. How about you run the ball every now and then? When instead of dancing, just take off and run. He didn't do that. Are you blaming that on the offensive coordinator?
Man, these are the same people that said, he's not worth that kind of money because all he is a running quarterback. He's got to show me he can beat him with his arm. And then in the playoffs comes, they play him to pass, right? Right? They play him to pass and beat me with your legs. He would have never beat him with his legs. He would have run out of time.
Well, he wouldn't have run out of time. I mean, how many incompletions did he have? I mean, he threw 17 incompletions. How about you run the ball every now and then, just get 5 yards. Run it again, get 7 yards. Because if you keep doing that, eventually you're going to shake loose and go for 40. But he didn't even give himself an opportunity. He just kept throwing incompletions, overthrowing receivers.
Throwing Odell deep routes is bad
desperation.
Offense. But
there you go. Bad offense. That's right.
Throwing Odell deep routes is bad offense, but hoping your QB breaks for 40 is good offense.
No, I didn't say hope. I said when it's opportunities there, he's can go run for 5 yards. It's just like a regular running game, Chris. You know that. Run for 3 yards. Run for 5 yards. Eventually, you are going to break free. You're going to make a guy miss, and there's not going to be anybody else there to make the tackle. That's what Lamar Jackson does. Instead, he chose not to do that. He chose to stay in the pocket, dance around, and throw incompletions. That's all he did all game long.
Man,
if Josh Allen choked, Lamar Jackson, I mean, he couldn't even breathe. He choked so bad.
Josh Allen threw a bunch of bad balls. Lamar threw one bad ball.
I'm just trying. How do you justify one bad ball with 17 incompletions?
Shout out to Buddy.
What are we talking about here?
Sorry. Shout out to Buddy in the comments. He said scrambling is a viable offensive weapon in the NFL.
When you're Lamar Jackson, yeah. So, Buddy in the comments, if you're trying to be an offensive coordinator and Lamar Jackson is your quarterback, if scrambling when it's not open isn't viable, you need to rethink that because absolutely it's viable.
When's it enough? When he goes and gets 6 and slides, 7 and slides, everybody's going to be like, that's Lamar Jackson. He needs to bust a big one. Now he's putting $400 million bag on the line because we don't have enough weapons. Zay Flowers, Rutledge said it in the comments, incredible weapon. He's a young kid. He doesn't have his head on. But, I mean, how many targets you want to give that guy? Where was the Baltimore tight end game? Where was Likely and Andrews?
Well, Andrews is hurt. I mean, you can't say Andrews. I mean, the guy he's coming back, he's had a broken leg.
Caught the first ball of the game. They went away from it.
I mean, the guy was hurt. He couldn't even play. I think he only played like 18 snaps. Okay, the guy couldn't play football. He had a broken leg. Let's not put it on Mark Andrews or incorporating a guy coming back from an injury that's supposed to keep you out the rest of the year. Let's not put the game plan on him.
I'm not putting it on him. I'm gonna put it on the tight end position because likely or lively, I forgot his name already. Uh, you know, came alive at the end of the season. No show. It was
Well,
a no
the
show.
the strength of the Chiefs secondary, which is number 2 in the league, by the way, is the secondary. Maybe they just
Okay.
covered him.
Well, let's see what
I mean, I
what
know when they tried to throw it to him in the end zone, he put
yeah
his hand up like he was Randy Moss, like he was wide open.
yeah
I mean, he
terrible
couldn't have been more covered if he had a blanket over top of him.
terrible decision by Lamar to believe him on that one. But this vaunted Chiefs secondary, I think I'm gonna be at your place to watch the Super Bowl. So let me know, please, if Purdy doesn't put up 3 hundo sticks on him.
I mean, I go by what I see. I mean, the Chiefs
Okay.
secondary is one of the best
Okay.
in the league. I mean,
Take the under
there's no
on
doubt
300.
about it.
Take bust, pause, Ali and Yuva, pause. But take the under on 300 for Purdy then with Ayuk and Debo and
They
company
won't
out
have to
there.
do that though, because they'll be able to run the football. They're not going to have to throw it for 300 yards. You know, the Chiefs, while the defense, the secondary is great, they can be run, the football can be run on them, which is one again goes back to game plan on why Baltimore didn't run the football or why Lamar Jackson
Yeah.
didn't try to run the football.
We got a comment that there was pass interference on the interception. It don't matter. That was triple
What?
coverage and a bad ball. Nobody's bailing you out on that.
I don't know who's saying it was pass interference, but that I mean that's I mean
Absurd.
no, stop. That's
Absurd.
just called football. You threw the ball into 3 people, and he shouldn't have thrown it. That's just bad football.
Yeah, I'd like to say that one bad ball is not a choke. He was let down by the offensive coordinator. He was let down by what I thought was the best defense in the league, and then let down by essentially at least a 10-point turnaround by his own wide receiver. I'm calling it like I see it.
Yeah, well, I mean, 17 incompletions is a little bit more than one bad ball. I would be willing to say. And I
Okay,
would be willing to say if you asked Lamar, "Hey, did you just have one bad ball?" And no, he's not going to say that.
no,
17 incompletions say otherwise. So let's just leave it
he,
at that. Lamar choked.
he's going to take
I mean,
he's
he
going to
just
take some
choked.
ownership and say he should have played better. You're right, but
There
he
you
didn't
go.
choke. He
He
didn't choke.
choked. He should have played back. Get it done when you're supposed to get it done. How about that? And he didn't.
Okay,
Isn't that the definition of choking?
I mean, I guess.
I'm just asking questions. I'm a fact finder, and to
No,
find
great.
facts, you just
I'll
ask questions. Is
I'll
it the
make sure that
definition of choking not getting it done when you're supposed to get it done?
every player plays their best every
And
big
if
game.
they don't, you can say they choked. Absolutely right.
Man, better talk to Manning and his Super Bowls.
Choke. Well, he only went to one where he lost. Choked. I mean, choke job. Just it is what it is, people. It is
The
what it
one
is.
where he wait,
Threw an interception at the end of the game to the Saints. That's a choke job.
okay. How many did he win?
2.
Did
He
he
went to
play his
3.
best
Oh,
on that
and
second one?
against Seattle. That's right. That was a definite. I mean, that was a big time choke job.
Yeah,
So he went to 4.
he played terrible.
Terrible. There you go. Lamar
Okay.
Jackson played terrible. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. There's no defending it. You can't defend the choke job. You either get it. For instance, Patrick Mahomes didn't play great in that football game after the first half. He didn't play great. Hell, they couldn't even move the football in the second half. But guess what happened? At the end of the game, the Chiefs needed a play, and what did he do? He made the throw. That's the difference.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, either you can make the plays or you can't make the plays.
No, you're
Patty
right.
Mahomes, he can make the plays.
Little
Lamar
revisionist
Jackson,
history there. I mean, I
he
get
can't
it.
play. It's not revisionist history. It's just the truth. I mean, it's just what happened. I
Boy,
mean, he made the plays or he didn't make the play.
I tell you what,
So,
Buddy is a little heavy on the Lamar glazing now. I get it. He's at the same point that Manning was, but that's enough.
I mean, we're not. I mean, anybody. That's you haven't watched football long enough if you think Lamar Jackson is good as Peyton Manning. We're just going to say that. So
it just takes
let's just say that the
little more
comments sometimes go crazy, and I love the comments, but they go out of this world ridiculous, and that's a ridiculous statement if you're trying to compare Lamar Jackson to Peyton Manning based on a playoff record. Let's get serious, people. Let's get serious.
All right, we got Gummy Bear in the comments too.
I don't see Gummy Bear. I must be behind.
Rutledge.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not comparing Lamar Jackson to Peyton Manning. We're not doing that. So it is what it is. It
Manning
is
was
what it is.
Manning was carried on the Broncos. I
His
agree with
last
you.
Super Bowl, absolutely,
Yeah,
1,000%. But he was also 100 years old at the time. He wasn't 27. He wasn't 28.
yeah.
So no,
He didn't
no.
just
And
get
Lamar
made.
Jackson will never do the things that Peyton Manning did in this league. So let's just. I'm not even going to talk about that anymore because that's just ridiculous. You know.
What else you got for me?
Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's see here. So the next thing is, and I got a lot of push, and you want to talk about this a little bit, is Usher in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Usher in the Super Bowl. Halftime show. Um, does he have enough hits? My feeling is, I mean, Usher's been doing it for 25 years. I, I,
I
I
agree.
gotta believe that's enough hits to be in the Super Bowl.
Maybe I turned away from him, too early, but I think Usher had a couple really hot albums in my formative years. But I don't know, and I get it. I'm the target audience, right? We're who all the commercials are about. But I don't know if I'm feeling Usher for the Super Bowl. I really am not.
But I mean, but why? I mean, if the weekend can be in the Super Bowl, I mean, because to me, the Super Bowl is about you got to be in the conversation of being great for a long time. You can't just be hot for a year and then all of a sudden they throw you into the Super Bowl, which is what they did for the weekend. You're telling me that you think the weekend could be in the Super Bowl is more viable than Usher?
Absolutely, because the year the weekend was in it, they were trying to do this whole viral movement. He had a couple monster hits that, of course, the teenage girls were all over, and they were just trying to build on that traction. So I get why he was there. It didn't make for a great performance because he didn't have enough hits, definitely didn't have a timeless enough catalog, but I get why he was there. I'm wondering if they're repeating that mistake. Does Usher have a timeless enough catalog? Are we all going to go back to 2001 and Confessions and yeah with Little John? I get it. I get it.
The,
I
I
loved it.
mean, they did it with Snoop Dogg, they did it with Dr. Dre, they did it with 50 Cent. Why
Stop,
can't you do that with Usher?
stop. That changed music. Usher is one of
Okay.
those guys
You talked
that
about
wrote.
catalog, not changing music. There've been plenty of people in the Super Bowl halftime show that haven't changed music.
What I'm saying is those were icons who changed the game. There's no disputing they deserve to be there, no matter how long or short their careers were.
Did 50 Cent change the game?
Nah, it was Dre. Dre got complete autonomy on who he could invite, and obviously, 50 was his guy. So
Mary J.
Usher,
Blige changed the game?
Mary J. Blige, absolutely. What's the
And if she
411?
can be in it, then Usher 1,000,000% can be in it.
Man, I tell you what, those of you guys out there in the comments, look up the career sales of Mary J. versus Usher. I
Yeah,
think I got
please.
Mary J. to win that
I
one.
hope they don't post it. I hope they don't post it because if they
I,
do, you're
I,
not going to be happy with that.
yeah,
I'm going to tell
yeah.
you right now,
We
you're
got
not going to be
April out there
happy
talking
with
about
that.
let it
Usher,
burn. Let it
it
burn.
absolutely. I mean, let it burn.
Let it burn is going to
Usher,
be Mary J's got more sales than Usher. But I just don't think he can carry it. Guy's a great performer, great dancer, mediocre singer with a decent catalog that really resonates with I don't know, the 70s babies, whatever we are, whatever generation we are, right? But
so
I don't know.
so he can't sing. He's a good dancer, not a good entertainer, but somehow he got hired for the Super Bowl.
He's got a residency in Vegas. I'm not saying he's not a good entertainer. I'm saying his 14 minutes of hits. Am I going to be like, oh man, let me go back to Spotify right now and
Well,
favorite
no,
him? Like,
no, Chris, that's not what you're going to do. And I'm going to say this. Hopefully, my mom will probably be on here, but I don't care. If Usher is singing, you know what you're going to be doing, Daddy. You know what
oh,
you're going to be
okay.
thinking.
Not
Yeah, buddy. It's
well.
going to
I
be
thought
hey, hey, baby.
okay. It's super awkward because I thought I was watching the Super Bowl at your house.
Oh, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I see what you're trying to say. So you're saying there's going to be a lot of September babies next year,
There you go. That's what
October.
maybe that's
Whatever.
what they're going for, Chris. Come live a little bit.
Okay.
Don't try to hold the man down. The man is great, a outstanding entertainer. And maybe that's what they're going for this rip.
Okay. All right.
I mean, the Super Bowl, it is what it is, and you got to mix it up a little bit. And it's too bad that they've done a lot of people. I'm just trying to think, Chris, who else is worthy? I mean, it would have been too much if they had Taylor Swift on. I know they asked her last year and she said no, but it would have been too much to have her be part of it this year with everything going on. I thought it'd been a perfect segue, but I don't think she herself would have allowed her to be used like that. It's one thing to be shown for 25 seconds in a 3-hour football game all that time. There's another thing for them to just blatantly use her, because it would have been blatant at that point.
Yeah, she doesn't need it with her
No.
concert selling out, her movie selling out. She doesn't need any of that. And I don't have any reason that she would go out and introduce Usher or duet with him at the end. No, there's no viable reason, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm trying to get some of these comments here.
Man, is R.
So
Kelly allowed to make a phone call from jail at
I
halftime?
know. I'm like, what are we
I
doing?
tell you what, I tell you what, that'd be a banger though. I mean, R. Kelly's never made a bad song, just made a bad call here or there.
But his voice has got to be gone, though. His voice has got to be gone by now. 'Cause
Nah.
I just have a feeling that R. Kelly's not being treated well. I'll go the PG route. He's not being treated well in prison right now. I think he's got some voice issues. Let's just say that he's got some voice issues.
Well, you see D. Howard in the comments talking about Maroon 5 and Coldplay. Those are actually my favorite.
Horrible.
Those are my favorite Super Bowl halftimes.
Oh
When
my
they play
god.
somebody I don't know at all, it's time to go to the bathroom and get snacks because I know none of their hits. And I hate to say that, you know.
Well, there you go. They were horrible. That's
Yeah,
right.
whenever it does that. I tell you what, my favorite Super Bowl still though is Shakira and J Lo. Am I right on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not. I mean, I don't know one song they perform,
Well,
but
we
I
weren't
know that
looking for
nobody
songs.
got up to get another beer.
Yeah, we weren't paying attention for songs.
Nope,
We didn't.
absolutely not.
It could have just been, hey man, we're just gonna do this silent. This
Yep,
halftime silent. We don't need
yep,
to do nothing, and everybody would have stayed glued to the TV.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Audio could have gone out. People were still watching.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because like I said, I don't know if Shakira can actually sing, but I damn sure know that J Lo can't sing.
Yeah.
And who
Shakira can
cares?
sing. Buddy talking about everybody loved the J Lo and Shakira one, and I think that is one of the best performances, Abel. And maybe I'm biased on that one.
Oh yeah, because they were dancing like they were in the strip joint.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's
Which
what I
is,
hear.
I
I've
mean,
never been.
I've never been, because I
Right,
don't go to those kinds of places. That's not what
right.
I do with my life. I'm a better man than that. Um, and I know you frequent those, and that's okay. That's okay. I mean, I'm still going to be your boy, but they were dancing like they had been at a strip club. Like I said, I don't know, because I just don't go to those type of places.
I mean, it's crazy when people try to cast judgment because the only way you can save somebody is if you go to where the water is the highest, the water's the deepest. So I do go in there and I try to rescue my fellow brothers. Half of them are in the comments. I try to get them out of there. Say, look,
Huh.
let's do better.
And I think the last time that you went, I think that's what I was trying to do to you. I was
Okay.
trying to get you out of there and drag you out of there. And it took 3.5, 4 hours for me to get you out of there, but I finally got you out. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, but I finally got you out of there.
Sometimes confession and repenting takes a little bit of time. But to some of the points, the J Lo Shakira all time great. Michael was great. I
Prince.
thought the Rihanna was surprisingly average. You
Yeah.
know, I got super excited. Yeah, the people in the comments know that you were really trying to help me out of those gentlemen established. Thank you.
No,
Shout
I
out
was trying.
to
No,
Josh
I
and
actually
those
was.
guys.
I
Um,
don't get it. I mean,
yeah.
I was trying to get you to go to Bible study with me the next morning. You didn't want to go, so it is
Hey,
what it is.
nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
But yeah,
Uh,
as far as performances, I mean, Rihanna's not really. I mean, is she that good? Now, first of all, she was pregnant,
right.
so that can slow you down a little bit. But as far as just performances, I think Madonna's was great. I think Prince's was great. Now, look,
Absolutely.
I'm partial to Michael Jackson. I don't
Right.
put anybody in any performance or anything as high as I put Michael Jackson on anything. I put him on another level from everybody.
Okay.
And then it's Michael Jackson and then everybody else. And that's
No,
for anything,
absolutely.
Chris.
Michael's the greatest entertainer of all time. But let's stop the comments right here. Everybody keeps saying Dre. I get it. I thought Dre's Super Bowl was amazing. But let's stop acting like that was one artist out there comparing to everything else. In the Dre Super Bowl, you got 5 or 6 platinum artists out there. It was
Correct.
a producer. I mean, yes, it was
Correct.
my favorite Super Bowl halftime. Art, that's not even for discussion. But come on, that wasn't like that was one guy carrying it. It was Dre, Snoop, 50 Cent, I think Eminem, Mary J. Blige. Who else was on there?
We have
You
got
know,
a comment here from a guy named Mill. You might know him. I don't know. I don't know this guy. I don't want to know
yeah,
this guy. But he
stand up
says
guy
that
out of
Janet
Houston.
Jackson, but her
Yeah,
last performance in Houston left her exposed.
yeah, yeah,
Left her exposed. Yeah. First of all, me and Janet go way back. She was texting me back when I was in college, wanting to be my girlfriend, and I told her I have a girlfriend. I have no business talking to you. She sent me money. She sent
yeah,
all these things, and I'm like, Janet, stop. Okay, enough's enough. And then she put on this performance to try to make me jealous.
yeah.
And I admit, Chris, it made me a little mad. I was a little disappointed in her. She would stoop that low to get my attention. Pathetic.
Yeah, no,
Pathetic.
I mean, and every time you've told me about this, I mean, I'm just thankful that you didn't go down that road because you dodged a whole bunch of crazy, So
Yeah.
I'm glad you made the right call.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, you're
we got a
right.
question from Mallory here. What artists we want to see in the future do the halftime show? I hate that you used it in there. He's got a long enough career and a long enough catalog. I don't know how you do a live performance. I'd love to see Future in the halftime performance. I know
Mm,
he's got he could bring out a collection of people he's performed with. You
absolutely
know,
not.
I think it'd be fantastic,
First of all, you've been to a rap show.
right?
How good is a rap show?
But Future is a freaking auto tune and beat guy, and we bring out all of the
No.
features he's been on.
We
And
want
I think it,
entertainment for the Super Bowl. You entertain me. And a rap show, a rap concert is horrific
man,
at
I don't
best.
know. I think I'd like look at there, look at there, look at the youth, look at the Goon Squad. Goon Squad finally got the t-shirts. But yeah, a few they would the kids would love it. I can't call them kids anymore. They would love it. And he also is, I mean, he's been out since 2011, 2012, and he's partnered with some of the biggest names. So do the same thing with him just doing some ad libs and babbling in the background, and I
Absolutely
think it'd be
right.
fire.
There's more entertainment value out there. I mean, just like the weekend. The weekend wanted everybody to be on drugs, and if you weren't, it was a horrible show. And Future is not an entertainer.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
not an entertainer. He can't be the halftime performer of the Super Bowl. When I think halftime performers of the Super Bowl, I think legends. You got to be at that going in that trajectory. Future
Okay.
is
I
not
mean,
that guy. He is
but you
never going to be that guy.
you got to kind of ride the wave, though, right? They're always trying to split. So you saw Celine Dion in the comments. That's what it used to be when we were growing up. It was
Okay.
always has been's music, right?
Celine Dion's has been?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Shout out to Haley for Little Wayne.
Oh,
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about a guy who had 77 features in one year. Man, he has features with Kelly Rowland, Beyonce, Jay-Z. You could bring out everybody that Wayne has been on a
yeah.
track with. It'd be odd.
Now here's a good comment from Darren Howard. Future's not paying for his own show. The man barely pays child support. He's
Yeah.
supposed to pay the NFL to be in the Super Bowl.
What
Give me
what
a
kind of
break.
set?
Give me
What
a
kind of
break.
set would he need, Darren? All he needs is a couple styrofoam cups. I mean, he's just going out there and leaning. Come on now.
It's unbelievable. I just don't get it. Kid Rock.
Yeah, we got
Oh
people saying,
no.
yeah, no. I
Kid
mean,
Rock would start a riot. Yeah, maybe because they boo his ass off the damn stage.
yeah,
Get off the
but
stage.
that's the thing about it, though. You got all these artists that the NFL is going to try to ride that wave between, try to
They
catch
are.
somebody on their way up or that's viral. But everybody's got a pass now. The guy who just won a country music award, Jelly Roll, was a freaking meth addicted rapper 5 years ago. So like everybody that tunes into the other genre of music that's waiting for it to go back to rock and country would love it until he came out and performed his old stuff. So I think they've got to try to ride the wave of somebody with the, I don't know, was Post Malone, has he done it already? I feel like he has. Am I
No, he
wrong?
hasn't. No, no. And I don't
I mean,
think that Post Malone, while you'd get a certain demographic of people, which would be fine, Post Malone's not going to get the NFL what they want. He's not going to move the needle. You talked about an agenda for the NFL. Post Malone isn't moving that needle. It was different when it was Dr. Dre and everybody, because that galvanized everybody. Everybody our age listened to Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. They all listened to
right?
that while we were growing up. Post Malone is not going to hit the same type of demographic, because that age group, it's just not. And not that I think he's bad, because I don't, but it's not going to have the same type of demographic and the same kind of, because I don't know anybody that didn't like the the Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre halftime show. I don't know. I mean, I haven't talked to anybody that didn't like that. You'd speak to a lot of people that didn't like Post Malone. A lot of people.
Well,
And
and
again,
I
I
think
wouldn't be one of them, because I like them, but
right,
I
but
don't
I
think
think
that's
that
what the
when you look
NFL
at
is
these
going for.
guys, when you look at these guys, you just try to look at their Spotify top 5, top 10, and they're all features with other people. And he's got a pretty diverse feature set, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the days of somebody getting up there and Garth Brooks in it are over, right? So it's
It
going
don't
to
have
have
to
to be.
be.
It is.
Doesn't
They
have to
don't
be.
have they don't we don't have that level of artist. There's so much more content out there being consumed. Nobody's hot for that long. There's not an album we can sing cover to cover like we could
Yeah, but it's only
Mary J.
15
Blige,
minutes, though.
huh?
It's only 15 minutes or 14 minutes. You don't
I
have to
know,
do it that long.
but you realize they mash up the songs. They don't play the whole thing. So 2 minutes
Correct.
and 14 minutes, you got to get 20 songs in there.
No.
You know?
Rihanna didn't have 20 songs.
No, but Rihanna just walked around. You got Rutledge saying Stapleton.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh,
So,
Chris Stapleton, fantastic and a fantastic live performer. My problem with that, he doesn't have enough in his catalog with the energy for the halftime. The last thing they want is everybody nodding off or getting too far into the whiskey.
I got you. I got you. Let's see here.
Wow, we
There's
got
some
nobody.
other.
We got Beyonce. Sorry, do we need to skip past halftime?
Let's see. Do we need to skip past the halftime? No. Why? We can do whatever we want.
Oh, because I didn't know if I was running out of time because D. Howard is talking about Beyonce. Beyonce ain't gonna do that. Okay,
No.
Beyonce ain't rolling up the
Beyonce already
carpet.
did it twice. So I don't know what you're talking about.
She ain't
And she
doing
was
it again.
outstanding twice.
I'm letting you know. Done that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she was outstanding twice.
Somebody take
So,
Rutledge's keyboard away.
oh, well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to put stuff in there, we can't put it up on the screen, Rutledge. So come on, my man. Come on, my man. Be smarter. Be smarter, my man. But anyway, yeah, let's move on to
Hold on. We got one from April H here.
uh-oh.
A new kid, Boys to Men. Ooh, NSYNC and Paul Abdul collaboration. You know,
Oh,
you,
Jesus.
you had me at Paul Abdul. No
Oh,
collab needed.
Jesus.
Straight up. Now tell me.
And
April's a
again, you
cold-hearted
talked
snake for
about
that
now.
one.
You
You know.
just complained about people not being able to sing,
Yeah.
not being, and Paula Abdul somehow skips all of that.
First Laker girl. She got the choreography down. Straight up. Now
And
tell me,
well,
D.
she's
Straight up.
100
Now
years
tell me.
old, by the way, too. But
She's
I
what?
guess Dolly Parton was out there, at the
Yeah.
Cowboys halftime at Thanksgiving doing her thing. So, but at
Yeah.
least Dolly Parton can actually sing. Paula Abdul could never, ever, ever sing. So no, she can't be part of
You
the
know
show.
what? You're
No,
a cold-hearted snake for saying that.
I am. I can be that. I can be that.
You guys
But
out there get what I'm getting at here. Rush
no,
to the comments. Those are all of Paula's top hits, guys. Cold-hearted snake. Straight up now, tell me. Rush. Promise of a new day.
okay.
Plenty of hits.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you get all of that out so we
Okay,
can move.
my bad.
I'm
I'm
gonna let
done
you
with
get
it now.
all that Paula out. I don't want to
That's
say
the
anything bad, so I'm
that's the
trying to be a
reason.
better man.
That's the reason this conversation goes so well because opposites attract. That's another one of his. Okay, that's the last one, guys. That's the last one. I promise.
I want off this show. I want
I
off
get
this
it.
podcast.
I get it.
Let's move on to the last topic, man. So, with everything that has happened here, Patrick Mahomes, is he already in the top 5 of all-time quarterbacks? Just in my opinion, I think I thought he was there before the beginning of the season, But I don't even think there's any question now that he is.
Absolutely. If you saw that J.J. Watt interview, which I thought was fantastic, they just ask him, where is he against Elway? Where is he against, Manning?
Yep.
And better, better, better. And there was only a couple of guys, Montana and Brady, that he didn't say better. So I respect the guy, defensive player of the year, a couple years in a row that knows way more about the game than I do. I think his resume, it adds up. I mean, we can say it's Andy Reid, but I disagree. We could say it was Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, the Tyreek Hill. We've taken all those out of the equation. The guy has put up numbers. He's consistently performed. He's won the AFC. What is this, the fifth time now, B? Check me on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in the top 5. I'm not going to put him ahead of Manning just yet, just for the simple fact he hasn't done it long enough. Manning was so good for so long. Now, you can't hold that against him because he hasn't played as long, but I'm not going to put him, because what Manning did, Manning basically created an offense, and
Yeah.
he ran the entire thing. Where Mahomes, a lot of it's Andy Reid, but I'm not going to knock him for playing for an outstanding offensive innovator. You can't knock the guy for that. That's silly. But at the same time, I'm not putting him ahead of Manning, but I did move him ahead of Elway for sure. And he's
Well,
definitely ahead of Marino for sure. But
yeah.
I've
No,
got
and
Montana, Brady, and then Manning, and then Mahomes is 4. And then you can take your pick between Elway and Marino. I like Marino because he never had a great team, but then
right.
Elway had bad teams that he took to Super Bowls. So
No, it hurts me to pass Marino up, but he's ahead of him.
yeah,
Buddy said something up there. I'm gonna get to Buddy and then Josh's comment. Buddy said Montana has nostalgia, but he's not better. Buddy, I'm sorry. You
yeah,
need to
he
go back
doesn't.
and watch that. Joe Montana, everybody in the NFL just said he hasn't passed Brady and Montana. So you might have the wrong take on that one. And then Josh, where does Mahomes, if he wins this one? I still don't think it changes it. It puts him number 3 all time for me. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, this
uh,
comment, just like you said, is that Montana has nostalgia, but isn't better than Mahomes. Well, what wouldn't make him better? I mean, he went to 4 Super Bowls. He won them all. He was 3-time MVP in the Super Bowls. Should have been 4, but they gave one of them to Rice, and he didn't throw an interception. He threw 12 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. What makes him better? What
yeah,
makes Mahomes better than that? We
yeah.
got to
I mean,
stop the nonsense.
and
Just stop
Mahomes is
the
only
nonsense.
28. So I mean, he's got the world ahead of him.
Yeah,
But
it
no,
doesn't mean he can't pass him,
at
but
this
he ain't
point,
there yet.
Montana had Jerry Rice, and I believe Tyreek is put up some very Jerry Rice numbers when Mahomes had him.
It's a
Stop,
lazy
stop the
argument, though.
madness, Chris.
Yeah, that's a lazy argument, because when somebody says somebody had another good player that they played with,
Yeah,
so now you're not very good or you're not as good because you had somebody else that was really good that you played with. That's about as lazy an argument as it gets.
right. Which goes against the argument earlier. We said you got to show up in the big games to be considered the great. You've got to play your best. Look at Montana's playoffs. Look at his Super Bowls. You know,
Exactly.
and their roster was loaded, but look at how he played.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, you act like because they had a good roster that he wasn't as good because of who was on the roster. That would mean Magic Johnson isn't as good. That would mean Kareem wasn't as good. That would mean Larry Bird wasn't as good. I mean, and that's just talking about basketball players. That means you're not as good because you played with other good people. Again, that's lazy. That's lazy or lack of knowledge, one of the two.
I'll shout out to Buddy Claiborne, said he'll do his research. That's a great man right there. A man that can admit that maybe he's got the wrong take, and he's going to do his research. Man, that guy's doing it right. It's my
Huh,
favorite guy.
maybe he's probably got a good mother. His
100%.
father, I know his father. His father doesn't know shit, but his
Opinionated
mother,
guy.
on the
His
other
father
hand,
doesn't
got a
budge
good
on an
mother.
argument.
And
Yeah.
she's gonna go do his research and go study up.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. I get it. He's trying to be a better man. I get that. Good for you, Buddy Claiborne. He shows
Mad,
up
mad
every week
respect.
too. And guess what? I'm gonna say this for everybody before we cut off the show. The Wi-Fi held up, Chris. The
I went to the
Wi-Fi
laptop,
held
man.
up, Chris.
I don't know why. I don't know why we're proactively saying that, because you're jinxing us in the last couple minutes here.
Yeah, it
But
can go off now. It won't matter.
okay,
The
I'm on the
Wi-Fi it
laptop.
showed up. Yeah, buddy. We
You know,
made it. Our first show that we made it all the way through, man. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, shout out to a lot of the folks for tuning in and throwing some comments in there. You
Yes.
know, Mallory perhaps with the most contribution with that future for halftime Super Bowl. Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
You know,
Jiminy Christmas.
yeah,
I appreciate everybody joining the show, man. It's like I said, it was a long time coming. We had some technical difficulties, but you guys hung in there with us. We love each and every one of you guys. Just remember, we are going to be live as many times as possible. So 8 a.m.
absolutely.
or excuse me, 8 p.m. on Tuesdays, we are going to be live, instant replay on YouTube. CC, any last words of wisdom for everybody?
Man, I just thought about it. I was looking at the comments, how many different cities we're already in. Tulsa, Manhattan, Boulder, Houston. You know, those are the ones that I know, Kansas City.
Tampa,
So
Florida.
yeah, oh, Tampa. Yeah, man, D Howard though, he got some whack takes. So
Yeah,
but yeah.
he's bad.
So no, words of wisdom. You know, I think that Super Bowl predictions, uh, you
We'll
know,
be
I
back next week. We'll be back next week for all that. We got 2 weeks to build up for that.
man, well, my word of wisdom is take all your friends' money while they're excited. Don't let them get their analysis and analytics and all that stuff. Make crazy wagers with the crazy people at work right now. Take the easy money, the low hanging fruit. Somebody's going to be riding high, trying to parlay something, and just eat them up right now. Take the easy money.
Aha. And I think we're going to end the show right here with this last comment from April H. CC equals can connect.
Yeah, yeah.
CC equals can connect. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate y'all joining us. We will be back next week, 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Instant replay. We are just getting started. I promise we'll do it better next time. I'll holler at you guys.